Okay, so I wanted to read a Rumi poem to that I came across to me today. I don't know. I'm sure you all have read lots of Rumi in your life, but sometimes his poems are so beautiful because they're so short, and they have such just beauty to them. And this meant a lot to me, and so I hope it resonates with you as well. For years, I pulled my existence out of emptiness. Then one swoop, one swing of the arm, that work is over. Free of who I was, free of presence, free of dangerous fear, hope, free of mountainous wanting. The here and now mountain is a tiny piece of a piece of straw blown off into emptiness. So go ahead and close your eyes. Sit up straight and tall. And find your center. Find your breath. I'll read it one more time. For years, I pulled my existence out of emptiness. Then one swoop, one swing of the arm, that work is over. Free of who I was, free of presence, free of dangerous fear, hope, free of mountainous wanting. The here and now mountain is a tiny piece of a piece of straw blown off into emptiness. So see if you can feel into the freedom of that emptiness. Can you cultivate a sense of freedom in both the mind and the body? You let the breath be airy and light and cultivate a sense of lightness within you. Can you seek that balance of grounding and spaciousness? Sense of rooted in the here and now, but one that is filled with a sense of freedom, adaptability, mobility. Just like a tiny piece of a piece of straw blown off into emptiness. How does that visual resonate in your body? How does it resonate within your breath? So scan and see if there's something binding you that you can pay attention to through your practice. Now, when you find binds, wherever they are, in the mind or body, it's not always one full swoop where we can release. Sometimes it's a slow art of letting go, of creating freedom consciously. So if you're finding places that don't quickly have movement or freedom, just notice. Detach yourself from needing to change and just notice. And maybe those parts of your mind or body or breath is something that you can pay attention to closely in your practice today. Just pay attention to the shifting that might happen. And then return to the places within you in your mind, body that do feel free. And let's celebrate. Let's have a sense of gratitude. As you're ready, place your hands together at your heart and have this mudra be one of centering, but also one of intending, where you have a concentration of energy toward an intention. And let's release our hands and find our way onto our back. So as you stretch out on in your postures, let's remember that usually a sense of freedom can come a little more quickly within you when you have your breath available to you, and when you have some mobility within you. So try not to feel like you have to move to endpoints of range. See if you can keep a sense of pliability in your body no matter what we're doing. And so stretch the arms overhead and feel that you can move while you're here, that you have a sense of being able to reach through one side and reach through the other, that everything responds to this action. Your pelvis, your shoulders, your arms, your legs, everything's finding the path to reaching into one and then the other. Something as simple as arms overhead gives you a different quality through your spine. So just notice. And bring your arms down next to you and bring your knees into your chest. Let's rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. All right, and then let's circle. So feel the rolling of your knees, really the rolling of your pelvis on the ground. Hold on to your knees and rock and roll one direction. And then after a few passes, change directions. And let this be a welcoming into the body, that here you are, releasing what came before or what's coming later, and just welcoming yourself into your practice, your presence. Okay, let's open the knees away from the midline and bring them back in. Right knee into your chest, left leg comes long on the ground, and feel into the rolling movement of your ankles and feet. Have some gratitude for all that your feet accomplish for you all through the day. And let's switch sides, left knee in, right leg long on the ground, and start to move around here, rolling around in your ankles, wiggling your toes, feeling that sense of mobility. And bring that right knee back and come to happy baby pose. Grow onto your feet. Let your back open up a little bit. You can rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. Maybe this is the first bit of movement you've done today. You know, maybe you just woke up, or maybe you've been sitting for a while. So just enjoy what it feels like to open your body up a little bit. All right, let's stretch out to a star. Reaching into your fingers and your toes. Feel free to roll around in your ankles and wrists, or move your legs internally and externally, rotating them. When you're ready, knees into your chest, pick up your head, round the spine a bit. And again, moving with breath, expand open on your inhale, and then close up into a ball on your exhale. All right, release your head down onto the ground. Let's cross your right thigh over your left thigh and draw your knees in toward your chest. Keep your head heavy and relaxed. Feel your shoulders soften toward the floor. Just open up the hips. Reach both legs straight up in the air, arms up overhead. Feel that extension through the spine. Feel the engagement in your core. And then let's switch sides, other leg on top. Just enjoy the stretching through your hip. Tailbone descends, sit bones widen. Relax your head toward the ground. All right, then one more time, arms overhead, legs straight up in the air. Feel that sense of extension through the spine. Knit the ribs toward the ground. Knees into your chest, head comes up. Put your feet on the ground, head on the ground, arms straight out to the sides. Windshield wiper your knees left and right, so you have that feeling of a little bit of mobility starting to move into your hips, your pelvis, your back. And let's roll all the way over onto our right side. You can put a block underneath your head if you need to. Bend your knees at right angles, stack them. Take a deep breath in, open up your chest. So bring your left arm all the way behind you, turn your head to the left. Exhale and bring your hands back to touch. Twice more with movement. Inhale, open up. Feel the sense of expansion as your chest expands open, and then release your hands back together. One more time. Enjoy the mobility here. Your chest opening. Exhale, hands coming back to center. Go to the other side. Lie down on your left. Of course, you can put a block or a blanket under your head if you need a little support. Palms together, knees and hips bent. Open up. See if you can get the right hand to come onto the ground, and then close back up. Open your chest, turn your head. Let this be all about just letting your thoracic spine have some mobility. One more time as you inhale, you expand your body, expand your chest, exhale, and release your hands back. Lie down on your back. And I find this action, we've done this before, I haven't done it in a while, but I find this best on a hardwood floor. I'm going to turn because my feet get caught on my furniture. So we're going to expand to a star and then bring close your right elbow and right knee and let your body roll over to your right, tuck to a ball, and then open up to expand to a star. Bring your left knee and left elbow toward each other and let the right side of your body kind of wrap around that, rolling onto your side. Try to be very slithery on the ground, that we're not really trying to work hard anywhere. We're trying to feel our way into mobility. See if you can really cherish the sense of freedom that easy, relaxed mobility can give you in your body. Let your breath naturally start to find its pattern in this movement as you go back and forth from one side to the other. Breathing well. And try to not have to feel like you're picking yourself up and planting yourself on your side. We're really sliding and gliding. We're draping our body over to the side and then opening back up. Make sure you're breathing. Try to really just get into this where we're letting go of expectations that we're doing yoga. We're just moving our body. We're feeling into the release and freedom of mobility. Try your best to connect your breath to your movements. The only effort is that, to just sense that you're breathing well while your body's moving. Okay, finish on the left side whenever you get there, and just pause for a moment on your back. You can have your arms and legs wide or bring them down, whatever's comfortable. And have a moment of just breathing into your belly, breathing into your pelvis, breathing into your ribs. Finding that sense of presence that is free and easy. We're going to find our way onto our side and come up onto your hands and your knees. And let's start to feel that we're moving our body freely here. Okay. So we have cat-cows. That always is a good place to start. Cat-cows are such a beautiful way of allowing the spine to feel all of its freedom. Take your time to move through these passes of your vertebrae. Touch in. Remember those places in the very beginning where you might have had a place where you were paying attention to in your practice today. Keep remembering to circle back to that part of the mind or body so that you can become aware of how a practice can shift what's happening within you. All right, move around any way you want. So wag your tail, circle the pelvis, move your rib cage, move your head about. Just find what's free, what can move easily in your body, what feels good. And then stretch back towards child's pose. Walk the hands far, start to feel that you're extending. Again, you don't have to get to your most extreme end point of range of any joint. Just find your way into a comfortable stretch. Okay. Walk the hands over to the right side of your mat, feeling the openness in the left rib cage. Comfortably put your knees apart wherever they want to land. Let your head relax, so try not to have strain by looking forward. And then come back to center and walk your hands over to the other side. Drop some weight into your sit bones. Keep your skull soft and relaxed. Breathing well. Come back to center, up onto all fours. Let's curl the toes under. Stretch back towards child's pose again with your toes curled under. Feeling the bottom of your feet start to awaken. Come back up, and now neutral feet, jet back to child's pose. We're gonna rise up onto our shins, lifting the arms to the sky, open your chest. And then exhale, arms down at your sides, relax your head. Twice more, inhale, up onto your shins, feeling that open space. Exhale, and release your hands down. One more time. Onto your shins, open the chest. Exhale. Release your arms down. Bring your hands underneath you, back onto all fours. Reach the left arm up in the air, take a breath in. Exhale and slide that shoulder down, twisting the body, feeling the freedom here again. You don't have to go to an end point. You can find a range that has a sense of pliability within it where you're not stuck because you've gone to your edge. Feel the softness and adaptability of being before your edge. The breath has room to move. Your body has the ability to relax within the posture. Reach the arm all the way up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. Switch sides. Arm lifting to the sky. Slide that shoulder underneath. Gaze toward the ground. Breathe into the back. Breathe into the sides. Breathe into the front. Enjoy what you're feeling. Let your head relax. Lift your arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. Hands and feet lift up to dog pose. So ground through your hands and your feet. Extend through your spine. Enjoy this posture. Let's find movement here. So maybe pedaling your feet, dropping one heel, bending the opposite knee, maybe swaying the hips a little bit. Try not to get stuck in the posture. Let breath and a little bit of mobility be here. Maybe you want to pick up one hand and place it back down, just feeling that sense of grounding. And once stillness wants to be in the posture, yield and push and reach. See if you can let the breath be your mobility now. Notice the dynamic shifting of weight as you inhale and exhale. Be adaptable inside your breath. Let your body respond to your breathing. Walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana. Fold here. Let your neck relax. Wag your tail. Shake, bounce, be still, whatever feels good. And just get a little bit of that back line to open. Interlace your hands. Base of your hands at the base of your skull.
Tuck your chin toward your chest. And then release the hands, a halfway lift. Hands can be on the ground, your blocks, or your legs. And let's melt and fold. Drop your seat, rising all the way on up. Bring your arms to the sky. Open chest, let's cactus the arms now. Feel the back body awaken. Arms up. One more time, pull down like you're grabbing onto a bar. Feel the back body squeeze a little bit. And then shake the hands out. Press your palms toward the walls next to you. Lift your fingertips toward the sky. Drop your shoulders. Let's just have some circles here of your arms. They can be big or small, whatever feels comfy. You just feel that mobility in your chest, your ribs, your shoulder blades, your shoulders themselves. All right, and then relax your hands. Give them a good shake again. Shrug your shoulders up. And then release your shoulders down. Okay, so notice, how do you feel? Just from our warming up, how are you in your body? Are you more present? Is your breath more conscious? Do you have that sense of freedom? We're gonna come up onto our toes, have a little bit of balance, arms come overhead, soften your gaze somewhere. Okay, heels come back down, keep your arms up. We're gonna move through a few passes of coming onto our toes and dropping down to our heels. Try to move slowly enough so that if your balance is a little wonky and you have that wobble, that you have an opportunity to play and dance within that wobble before you lower your heels back down. And so come on up, see if you can comfortably stay. And then release your heels back down and fold forward. Come back to a plank. Hold yourself sturdy and steady. Now, as you start to find the static nature of something like a plank hold, where is the mobility here? Where is the freedom here? Move it into your breath. Let your breath find its spaces that it can go. Find your way all the way down to the ground. Roll the shoulders a few times here so you have that freedom. Inhale, cobra pose. The chest opens, feel your spine. Melt and fold back down. If you like to have wide hands, do the second one with the arms out, palms on the ground. Otherwise, stay in your cobra. Melt and fold. One more time. Finding the path that's best for you. And then relax. Come up onto all fours. Move your spine. Feel that sense of freedom. Right leg straight back behind you. Left arm out in front of you. Feel that spinal balancing. Take a deep breath in and out. Feel the grounding of your shin. On your next exhale, we're gonna hug underneath, elbow and knee come toward each other. Inhale, bring it on out. Exhale, bring it on in. One more time. Feeling that extension. Exhale, feel the condensement. Extend your arm and leg out and then place that hand and knee onto the ground. Second side, left leg is out behind you, right arm is out in front of you. Engage your core, find your breathing. And then as you're ready, when you're ready, find the breath. So as you exhale, we hug underneath. And as you inhale, extend long. Reaching that arm and leg outward and lengthening. Feel your core. One more time. Elbow and knee come toward each other. Minimize the wobble as best as you can. Hand and knee down onto the ground, back to sit on your heels for a moment. Shake out your hands. Bring your palms facing down on the ground, fingertips pointing toward your knees. You can curl your toes under so you have a little bit higher perch, and then start to settle back. Okay, opening up your forearms, collarbones broadening, chest is wide. Ground all parts of your hands. Okay, and then release. Give your hands a little bit of a shake. Maybe roll your wrists. Now, this one's a doozy. So just go as far as you can. Palms are going to be facing up, fingertips pointing toward the knees. Turn the eyes of the elbows toward the front of your mat. Start to sit back down a little bit. Try not to lose the hands, the backs of the hands close to the wrist. Keep them on the ground. We're not lifting them off the ground. Keep turning the eyes of the elbows. Collarbones broad. Breathe well. Relax. Shake out your wrists. Up onto your shins one more time. Arms coming up. Exhale and fold back down to child's pose. Arms down at your sides. Interlace just your fingers on your low back and let your elbows come toward the ground a little bit. Okay, so just letting that internal rotation happen. Gravity's helping. Okay, and then relax. It's difficult for me to do those stretches, so I think I'm probably not alone in that. So let's just release some of that. Arms come up, a big wide circle, and come up to stand from here. Okay. All right, so standing in Tadasana. Okay. A little bit of mobility in our spine here. I like to do this with my feet just a teeny bit wider than your hips. You can be hip width apart or much wider, kind of find what feels good to you. And we're just gonna let our arms swing. This should feel good after the shoulder and wrist stretches. And now we're just trying to loosen our spine up. So the core is engaged. Feel your obliques help you twist. So we're not just totally loose in our center. We have that sense of stability. All right, so the arms are starting low. Make sure you have the ability to get wider because we're going to. Okay. And then now start to have the hands just low. They're not quite up to shoulder height. They're still a little lower, but we're letting our hips pivot. Okay. Just feeling your spine open up, letting your ribs move. Still inviting your core to support you. The heel is lifting up off the ground. Okay. Now we're going to go higher with the arms. Find your breath. Find your core. All right, and then now we're going to take our legs wider. So if you are not facing the long edge of your mat, I would suggest it. Okay, so now we're wide-legged, and we're going to start moving into this kind of, I would suggest actually starting this quite slow. We haven't done that. As a matter of fact, let's just come into a wide squat first before we do this. So find that wide squat. Let your legs, we haven't done a lot of movement yet with our legs, so let's enjoy this opening of our inner thighs, the feeling in our hips, the grounding in our feet. Find your breath. And come back up. Okay. And now we'll start to invite some movement. Squats. And then, and you don't have to look like me. Okay, so I'm moving slowly at first and just letting my torso kind of find its way. Coming into a squat and then straightening one leg. You don't have to straighten your leg. You can stay really low. So you can pick up the pace. The goal here is to let your body feel like there's a amoeba nature to it, that you're seaweedy, that you have structural support and stability, but there's freedom within this, that you can support yourself with your core, with your glutes, your legs, but that there's a sense of mobility. And you can adapt to any position, anything's available to you. How is your breath? There's no right, wrong way to move. There's just discovering mobility. We're all going to end up in a goddess pose. Instead of having our chest low like we did before, come a little bit higher, and you can come deep in your legs, you can come shallow in your legs, or anywhere in between. Find your breath. Ground your feet. And stand up. A big wide stance. Open yourself up. And we're going to turn back toward the front of our mat for a dog pose. A long, spacious spine here. Notice when you come back to a pose that we've done before, if things are shifting, if things are changing. Ground through your hands and feet. Let's lift your right leg up in the air and let's stack open your hips. So feel that sense of freedom in your pelvis. Try not to fall in your left side. Lift under your armpit, lift your hip. All right, and then square the hips again. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bring your foot forward. Blocks are nice underneath your hands. We'll start to bend and straighten our front leg. Breathing well, feeling the hip flexors open, feeling the hamstrings open, but most importantly, feeling mobile and filled with breath. Ground your legs, lunging, rising up. Crescent lunge, extend open, feel the heart open up. If a low back bends, if there's an invitation in your body to back bend, do it. If there's an invitation to keep your hands down, be there. So find what feels free. Ground yourself. Okay, release your hands down. Back foot comes forward. Fold here. Relax. Halfway lift. Fold again. Step your right foot back. Left foot is in front. Extend through your heart. Find your breath. Start to move with your breath. You can straighten the front leg and then bend your front knee. Your front foot can stay on the ground, or maybe your toes want to come up. Just find movement. Enjoy your body. Enjoy your breath. Ground yourself in your lunge. Rising up, crescent lunge. Arms coming up. What the body asks for, do. So if you're feeling very open, and you feel like reaching and opening the heart, then follow that invitation. If you're feeling a little less balanced and you need to kind of get lower to the ground and have your hands low, do that. How's your breath? Are you moving your body inside your breath? Hands come down. Lift your left leg all the way up in the air. Let's stack open your hip, bend your knee if you want, or keep it straight, feeling into that freedom of the side of your body, the front of your pelvis. Breathing well. Square up the hips, stretch that leg straight, bring your left foot forward again. Turn sideways on your mat, hands stay low. Lower your torso toward the ground, head comes down toward the ground as well. Try not to have your hips way back. Bring your hips over your ankles. From here, we're going to bend into your right knee as deep as your body will go and feel the opening of your inner thigh. Find your breath. Back to center, over to the other side. And then come back to center, wide stance again. Elbows inside your knees, open things up. Drop your head down toward the ground, lengthen through your legs, knees are straight, turn your feet forward, relax. Heel tuck your feet in, come up to stand. Rising up. Take your left foot back, come to Virabhadrasana 1. So our back heel is down on the ground this time. Find your breath, bring your arms forward, and then rise up. Tip your head back, find your breath, round into 2 feet. Notice if your lumbar spine feels smushed. What's going to give you that sense of freedom and space? Push into your feet, feel your core. Extend your ribs off your pelvis. And then release your hands down, half splits, hands on blocks. Square up the pelvis here. Come up onto your toes. Lift that hip high, right hip lifts. Descend the heel without descending the hip. Engage your left leg in the air. Find your breath. Exhale, come into a little bit of a squat, Jiva squat. Inhale, press out straight. A repeating squat on in. And then straighten your leg. Place your left foot down onto the ground, feet hip width apart, a halfway lift. Open up through your feet, your hamstrings. Engage your quads. And then melt and fold again. Let your head relax. Step your right foot back. Virabhadrasana 1 on this side. Swoop your arms up. Interlace your fingers. Tip your head back behind your arms a bit. Notice if you're smushed in your low back, how can you elevate your ribs off your pelvis? Can you integrate your floating ribs a little bit more? Use your core and especially use your legs. Press your feet into the ground. Engage your glutes, press your front heel. Feel that fullness of your back leg straightening. Hands come down onto the blocks, half splits this side, left standing on your left. Square up the pelvis, extend the spine. Come up onto your left toes, feel the hip lift. Slowly descend that heel without losing the length of the hip. Find your breath. Exhale to Jiva squat. Inhale, press it out straight. Exhale again. Drop into that movement. Straightening your leg. Place your right foot down next to your left foot. Soften and fold. Drop your seat. Rise up. Arms coming to the sky. Pause here in Tadasana. Find your breath. Grounding your 2 feet. Put your hands down at your sides. Notice your breathing. Breathe into your belly. Breathe into your full thorax. Just find the mobility of your breath. Unlock your knees. And with this fluidity that we've cultivated a lot, we're going to come into a balanced pose and see if you can detach from the guarding hold of the posture and let the balance come from your breath and from a state of fluidness. Even if you can't find balance, see if you can resist the urge to control and harden your way into a balanced posture. Right foot is forward. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1 again. Extend upward, lengthen your spine. Enjoy the back bend here. And then choose a pathway with your arms. You can have your palms together. You can have your arms out or down next to your side, or more challenging, arms over your head. So find the pathway to Virabhadrasana 3. Standing up on that right leg. Remember, we're seeking strength balanced with ease, a sense of stability with a sense of freedom. Can you find that? Where is your breath? Active through your hands and feet and core. And then we're going to slowly stand up on our right foot. Bring that left knee high. Come right into eagle pose. Squeeze your legs. So our left leg is over our right, and our right arm is over our left. Drop your shoulders. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. We're going to unwind the legs. Keep the arms. Step back toward Virabhadrasana 3. Keep your arms. Step all the way down, heel onto the ground. Viravam, keep your arms. And now release your arms up. Feel that freedom. Hands come down, dog pose. Feel the symmetry. Find your breath. Okay, come forward into a plank. Integrating the core. Lower yourself down. Shoulders back. A cobra or any pose, that back bend pose that feels good. Release to the ground. Up on all fours. Keep moving the spine. Roll around and swish and sway. Go ahead and lift on up to dog pose here. Breathing well. Left foot comes forward. Plant your back, heel down. Okay, come up to Virabhadrasana 1. Find your breath. Put your arms in the position for Virabhadrasana 3. Arms down at your sides, out to the sides, overhead. Palms together. Make a choice. We're going to step up onto our left foot. Wobbles are okay. Square yourself to the floor. See if you can, and even if you don't face the floor like perpendicular, see if you can, have your chest, your ribs, your pelvis, everything's facing the front. Find your breathing. Use your muscles, but also have that sense of freedom. And we're going to come on up, bring that leg knee high, cross your right leg over your left, bring your left arm over your right. And if, balance is a little too hard to kind of make that transition, you can stop, you can pause, you can grab onto a piece of furniture, whatever it is that you need. Squeeze, arms and legs. Now keep the arms. We're going to lift that knee off, back to Virabhadrasana 3. Keep the arms. We're going to step all the way back to Virabhadrasana 1. Keep the arms. And then unfold the arms. Whisk them high. Hands come down. Back foot comes forward. Fold into Uttanasana. Okay, let your breath return if you got a little bit away from you. Halfway lift. Spine gets free and long. And then melt and fold. We're going to come down to the ground. All right, so find a bridge. We're going to do this actively, no block, unless, that's what your body needs. So you do you, always you do you. Feet are on the ground, hip width apart. We're going to lift up now. You can interlace your arms underneath you, or if that's not available, arms down at your sides, palms facing up, backs of hands into the ground. Feel the rooting of your feet, the openness of your ribs. Enjoy your breath. Freedom of the breath. All right, relax and melt your body back down and windshield wiper your knees left and right. All right, we're going to cross our right thigh over our left thigh. We're going to lift our hips and scoot them to the left. We might need a block for this. And then drop your knees over to the right. Stick a block underneath your knee somewhere if this is too deep of a twist for you. Breathe well. Okay, bring your knees back up. Find your breath. Keep your legs. So we still have our right leg over our left leg. Take eagle arms, left arm over right arm. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hug in. Elbows and knees come in toward each other. And place your head and foot back down. One more time. Squeeze in. And this time, we're going to open up to a star on the ground. Exhale, knees into your chest. Head comes up. Relax your head back down. Left thigh over right thigh. Find your breath. Scoot your hips over to the right a couple of inches. Have a block handy if you need it. We're dropping our knees over to the left. Allow yourself to just relax into this twist. Breathing deeply. And come back up to center. Keep your legs, but adjust your pelvis so your pelvis is flat on the ground. Our left leg's on top. We're going to put our right arm on top. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, curl in. The elbows and knees touch. Inhale, head and foot back down. Exhale, elbows and knees touch. Use your core. Squeeze your arms and legs. Release your head down. Open up to a star. Find your breath. Exhale, knees into your chest. Head comes up. Relax your head down. Grab onto your feet. Happy baby. And let your hips have some deep flexion. Go ahead and rock a little bit, left and right. Feet on the ground. Second round of a bridge. We're going to start it actively, and then we're going to add a block. So have a block handy. Inhale, lift on up. Feel that symmetry and the hugging onto the pelvis. So work in the low back. And then put your block on the low height underneath your sacrum. Pause here for a few breaths, feeling that sense of mobility within your rib cage and belly. Now you can choose if your back is unhappy, try one straight leg at a time, heel on the ground. If your back is happy, 2 feet, heels down on the ground, legs straight. You can always reach your arms overhead too. Breathe into the pelvis. Let your breath get big and voluminous. And then bring your knees toward your chest. And a little bit of a traction here. If you feel like it, bring your legs straight up in the air. Okay, feel free to flex and point your feet or roll your ankles. Feel free to be very still. Down. Lift your hips. Get the block out of there. Rest. Pause here for a moment. Feet are on the floor. Turn your head left and then right. And left. And then right. Now, let's find one of two poses. Either cross your right thigh over your left and draw your knees to your chest, or reverse pigeon pose. Right foot on top of left knee. Grab on behind your hamstring or the front of your shin. Have a sense of ease. It's even better if you put your left foot on a wall or on something so that you don't have to use your arms at all for this posture. So just find what works for you. Opening up your hip. Keep the head as heavy as you can get it. Relax. Release. If you want to do a star between sides, you can star your body out and then knees to chest, or just switch. Now, if you have to kind of pick up your head to grab onto your leg in reverse pigeon pose, make sure that once you have your leg, you can rest your head back down. If you feel like you're straining, you want to make a different choice. Either put a strap around your knee to hold on to, or put your foot on a wall so that you have some ability to relax your upper body. Your head and your neck and shoulders should be able to be at ease here. Breathing well. Do you always clasp your hands the same way? Maybe try switching the clasp of your hand. Feel free to have a little mobility in this posture. You can rock, you can be still. Release a final star. Stretch your body out. Knees into your chest. Pick up your head. Complete your practice however you want. Maybe a happy baby. Maybe rocking your knees from left to right. Maybe a full twist. Make sure your breath is here again. As you find your way to Shavasana, there's no rush. So do the things that need to be done so that your body can be at ease. And when you get to Shavasana, see what it feels like to first just drop your weight. So it's an art to learn how to drop your weight. There's so many ways we unconsciously hold the body. And speaking of unconscious holding of the body, come back again to whatever place in the beginning of practice you felt you had some restrictions or binds. In this posture, what do you feel? When you bring your breath to that place within your body. breathing. Your awareness, the edges of your body, your breath. Allow yourself to move in any way that feels good. Actually finding your way to your side. Yourself up to sit. To a seated posture, just notice what your practice has given you. For years, I pulled my existence out of emptiness. Then one swoop, one swing of the arm, that work is over. Free of who I was, free of presence, free of dangerous fear, hope, free of mountainous wanting. The here and now mountain is a tiny piece of a straw blown off into emptiness. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day.